So, hello and good evening here at the wonderful circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, and we are here for the last race of the first Cone Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione Championship, and we still have 2 minutes of training left, so let's see. At this moment we have Nathan, who is, I think he's the leader of the standings at the moment, and not only this, but he's also the fastest driver here in the training session. And yeah, let's see which place he can take in the qualification. At this moment he's 85 thousandths of a second in front of Campbell and a little bit more than 1/10 in front of Evandro. So everything's normal. A Ferrari, or let's say 2 Ferraris and 2 McLaren on top, followed by, oh, now we have 2 Ferraris because Chamno is taking the lead 2/10 of a second in front of, or 2.5 seconds, 2.5 tenths of a second in front of Nathan. But let's see what happens in the qualification.
Green light, show them what you got.
Yeah, and we can say the most important thing here in Spa is don't get any drive-through penalties or stop-and-go penalties. Because you are losing so much time by driving through the pit stop or through the pits, because you have to drive at first through the old pits and then downhill through the new pits, and it's taking so much time. And I would like to give you some further informations, but my mobile phone don't want to work. Really annoying. Oh, and there is someone in front of Crosby. Let's see, is this Jay Booth? Yeah, it is Jay Booth. So let's jump in to his car and let's take a look of a lap here in Spa, starting with R06 and Radion. The first 2 interesting corners, then the long camel straight here. And hello Nathan and so on, everyone who joined here to watch the race or to hear me talking. Und Garrett and Nathan are starting from the back tonight. Okay, and this is why Nathan and... No, it's Palmer. And Jay Garrett on P16 don't drive out today for the qualification, and I think they are so much in the lead that they don't need to win this race to stay on their positions. Yeah, and if my mobile phone did do his job, I could say you something about the standings, because we don't have any information about this last week. And so it's may interesting for the one or the other. And hello, mobile phone, please come to work. So, but let's change back to the other view or side of view, I don't know. So, and we have the first times, but not by J Booth. At this moment we have Paco in front, followed by Evandro and then Wichtrup. Longfellow on P4. No, at this moment he fell back on P5. Yeah, I know this is the final race. I just oh, okay, and Nathan is leading Garrett by 20 points, and I'm trying to start my mobile phone to see the points and so on. So, and we have Garrett and Booth, the two leaders. Okay, Nathan a little bit further than Garrett. And at this moment we have two more guys, and now we have a BMW in the lead, followed by Campbell with his McLaren, and then Paco and Horlock, the next two BMWs, followed by two more McLaren, and then two more BMW and one McLaren. So Eckhold at this moment on P9, and then we have Pell in the Lamborghini, the first car which isn't a BMW or McLaren. So could it be that the... Yeah, I know, but without my mobile phone I'm not able to open the standings. Hey, and it worked now. I smoke you once I get the game? I don't know what this means. You can't smoke me, I'm not burning. So, but what I try to say is, I think one of the... Yeah, this is right. And he's talking to... Yeah, okay, it's for Nathan. Yeah, now I understand. I just was wondering what you try to say. So, and we have Crosby followed by Fischer, then Eckhold, Campbell and Evandro Paco, Horlock, then Wichtrup and Longfellow, and now the first not BMW or McLaren is the number 25 Ferrari from the other booth. Oh, but this isn't the right direction. And at this moment he's in front of Pell, who fell back on P11. Okay, I wouldn't say it's controller friendly, but the best thing is to try it for yourself. Okay, this isn't the standing. Maybe this? No. Ah, Nathan, you don't send me the standing, you just send me the grid. So no problem, I will jump to... So, and now we have Pell fell back on P... Oh, and now we have only BMW and McLaren in the top 10. No, because of Palmer, the AMG is at this moment on P7. Longfellow on P10, and then we have... And then we have the Aston by Forster on place 11. Oh, and there was somebody standing at the end of Radillon, or in Radillon. Oh, and this is really hard for me because the sign of Aston Martin and Bentley is nearly the same. So if you don't watch the car, so obviously it's not an Aston Martin. Of course, it's the Bentley. But these signs are so small that I... Ah, okay, and here we have the two Aston Martins. And I think one of them, I think De Mange, was the one who was standing in the wrong direction, or in the wrong direction, and now we can take a look for the standings after round 5 of 6. So we have Nathan Booth with 184 points in front of Garrett with 164. Then 33 points less we have Evandro on P3, and he's only 8 points in front of Small. But where is Small? I didn't find him. And this means Evandro stays on P3, but only 1 point behind Small we have Paco, and he's right behind Evandro, so this will be the fight of the day. So P7, the 83 McLaren versus the 152 BMW on P8 at this moment. And then we have Crosby on P6 at this moment in the overall standing, and he... Oh, there's Crosby. And he's at this moment on P4. But 18 points behind Paco. Let's see. Then we have the German driver on P8, Toby Sohn. At this moment he's right behind, I think, the brother of Nathan. He's right behind Jay Booth in his Porsche. Here with the number 15. And then we have Horlock, only 8 points behind Sohn. And Horlock is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places in front of the Porsche. And then Reville. I don't know. Oh, he isn't he's not driving like Roberts, Booth and Garrett. But no information about the other two guys who didn't, or who don't do qualification. So, and then we have Forster on P11, Jay Booth on P12, then followed by Wichtrup and Eckholt. Oh, and Eckholt, at this moment, he's on P3. Oh, and look at the difference between P1 and 2, only 7 thousandths, and then 600ths between Eckholt and Palmer. Oh, and Crosby and Chamno with the same time, both of them 0.2 behind Palmer. And this could be very, very interesting. Let's see if Crosby is... No, he's not faster than his fastest lap. And now let's look for Chamno. And then only 37 thousandths behind we have Fischer, who is 18 thousandths behind Evandro behind Fischer and so on. So let's see, new personal fastest lap by Chamno, or is he staying on P5 with the same time like Crosby? Oh, and he's a little bit faster, 43 thousandths faster than his fastest lap, and so he jumps up to P4 and puts Crosby on P5. So we have Palmer in front of Campbell, then Eckholt and Chamno, the fastest Ferrari, then the two BMW. Oh, Palmer with his AMG on top, then the two McLaren, then the Ferrari, then 2 times BMW with Crosby and Fischer, then Evandro, the next McLaren on P7, Paco, Horlock and Longfellow, the 3 BMW completing the top 10 on P8, 9 and 10, then Wichtrup in the next McLaren on P11, followed by Forster, the Bentley, Then hops the next McLaren, J Booth, the second Ferrari, and followed by Sohn, the first Porsche. And Sohn at this moment in front of Pell, who fell back on P16. Then Bagnall, Pulkinen and Farrell, 3 Ferraris. Then Kolpa and Hill. Dots, the only Audi on P22. Then Hansen, the first Aston, followed by Strauss, and right behind the first Aston we have the second Aston, so Demangel on P25, followed by Nathan and Jay Garrett, and then Revell and Roberts, the 4 drivers who didn't do a pit stop, a qualification time. So, and now we have 3.5 minutes time for everyone to go to the toilet or something like this, and then we will watch the last race here at the Cone Racing League for Season 1. Yeah, and the interesting fact about Spa is we don't have the same start and finish. So we're starting here downhill up to with the first 2 corners, R06 and Radion. But the finish is like you see, 1 corner before, because we starting after I can't remember the fucking name of the corner. Just wait, I will figure it out. Oh, you stupid mobile phone, please do your job. Yeah, we are starting behind La Source, and in round 2 is La Source turn number 1, and now we have R06 and Radion as turn 1 and 2. Sorry, I just have to make something. So, in a few seconds we will see the start of the in-lap or introduction lap.
30 seconds.
Yeah, like Jeff says. No, and I think one of the drivers is using the controller too. Interesting, and now we have the start of the warm-up lap. And let's see what's... Whoop. My dog is doing some funny noises. And let's see what's happened while the start. I just saw a lot of funny starts here at Spa. And not only the start is interesting, because every time they drive through R06 and Radion, everything can happen. Now let's see if Palmer could use or could could take some effort from his fastest qualification lap. And here we have also the standings. So, meanwhile they are at Staffelo, or in the turn before Staffelo, so turn 15 and now turn 16 Staffelo, one of the villages near the racing track or racetrack, as Malmedy, and I think also no, I don't know. No, Fagné. I think Fagné, Lecombe and Staffelo are the three villages around the track. And now one of the most annoying turns for me with the Audi. We have Blanchimont. I always struggling with it. And then we have turn 19 and 20, the bus stop chicane. And then normally we have the start, but like I told you earlier, at first we drive through, or a little bit more than the start finish line, because it's not the start line, it's only the finish line. So normally we have, not normally, we have the finish line here, but only the starting line for turn lap 2, because now we are going through La Source, which is normally the first corner here in Spa. And is there another track with different start and finish lines? I don't know. I know that there is no other track on ACC here, or ACC, but maybe there is another track. And now we have the start, and let's see what they are doing. Oh, I'm not sure. Is everything okay here? No, it looks good. So we don't have any yellow flags. We have one slow car. I'm not sure.
Main window is opening.
Let's see, who is it? Oh, and this Bagnall with the number 57. Who is already 2.4 seconds behind Rebel. Oh, and Booth and Garrett already on P22 and 23, and here Booth fighting against the BMW of Kolpa, the green BMW. Oh, and there is somebody going wide. Not wild, but wide. I think it's Pulkkinen, the yellow. No, it's not Pulkkinen. Oh, interesting. And here we have Kolpa fighting against... Who is it? I am not sure. Is it Jay? No, it's not the other Booth. It's Jay Garrett. So Garrett in front of Dodds and Booth. So the yellow Ferrari fighting against the green BMW at this moment, and on top we have Chamno, who was able to overtake Palmer. Palmer fell back on P2. And then Campbell on P3, followed by Eckholt, the two McLaren. And then we have Crosby and Fisher. Oh, and here we have... Whoa, who was it? Oh, and Chamno with the problems after Eau Rouge or in Radion. Going wide, and so Palmer on P1, Campbell on P2, and Chamno only on P3 at this moment, fell back 2 positions. And now Eckholt right behind the first Ferrari, and then Crosby in the Candy BMW on P5, followed by the next BMW, and then we have Evandro, Paco, Horlock, Longfellow. This is the top 10 actually at this moment. I don't know. And then we have Garrett right behind Zone, so the yellow Ferrari is hunting the German Porsche. Oh, and Nathan with some problems, only on P22, and he has more problems to overtake the guys in front of him than Garrett. And here we have the fight between Roberts and Pulkkinen, and Roberts in front of Pulkkinen, and Revel also overtaking the Ferrari. And here we have the German Porsche with some problems, and Booth also in front of Pulkkinen. But now Lassource inside. No, on the outside, Nathan could stay in front of the other Ferrari. And Campbell and Palmer on P1 and 2. Oh, 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 and this is, I would say, the end of, maybe not the end of the race, but I would say the end of the last to first challenge for Nathan. Really hard impact here in the barrier. Yeah, but no contact with other cars, just losing the car after R06. And Campbell right behind Palmer, so the fight between the AMG and the McLaren is ready to start. And then we have Chamno and Eckholt fighting for P3. And right behind these two we have Crosby in the first BMW. And he's waiting for some mistakes by the drivers in front of him. Fischer already 1.9 seconds behind his car mate. And then Evandro, Paco, Horlock and Longfellow. So at this moment, oh, and we have the Candy BMW Crosby with some issues here in bus stop. And so he fell back on P10. But already 5 BMW here in the top 10. 3 McLaren, 1 AMG and 1 Ferrari. But this means that Chamno is now follower free, let's say it like this, so no more pressure from behind, so he is able to concentrate for the two drivers in front of him. And Eckholt nearly 3 seconds behind Chamno, half of a second in front of Fischer and Evandro, and then Paco on P7, and he is followed by Horlock and Longfellow, and then Crosby hops on P11. Oh, and Hill with some problems. At this moment 5 seconds behind Hobbs. And then we have Farrell and Pell. Roberts on P15, Revel on P16, then Forster. Oh, and he loses a lot of positions, I would say, on P17. I think the Bentley was in or near the top 10. Oh, and we have two drivers who did already their pit stop, and we have one driver, oh, and it's Nathan. Nathan with another problem here 1 lap later, and he's in the pits at the moment, I think. And this is never a good sign. Oh, and Chamno coming closer to Campbell and Palmer. Here, while we're starting round number 5 or lap number 5. Can any one of the English driver or English guys explain a German guy what's the difference between round and lap? Is it lap 4 or is it round 4? I think it's round when we are talking about fighting, for example, boxing, and laps when we are talking about racing. But oh, and here we have the attack by the McLaren against the Mercedes. And yeah, no problem for the number 767 against, no problem for the 793 against 767. And now we have a new leader. And Palmer on P2, right in front of Chamno. Oh. I think Zone loses some positions, but I'm not sure. Oh, and also Garrett in for his mandatory pit stop. But I don't see a lot of destruction here, so maybe it's a regular stop. And look at this, it's so annoying to drive all the way. But okay, one time everyone has to do this, or has to do it. Because like I said, we have one mandatory stop. But at this time the AMG is losing a little bit time against the McLaren, so Campbell is able to get away a little bit. Which is a good news for Campbell, but not for the rest of the drivers. And let's hope that Nathan is already champion, because I'm not sure if a not finish was planned for him or by him. I really don't know how many points they get for the win or something like this. Yeah, but he's standing for a long time. Let's see if he's back on track or already stand in the pits. Oh, and also Crosby with some big problems. And Nathan back on track. And after this lap he will be in front of Crosby. So back on P27, but already driving. This is the main thing. And I think now he's taking P27. Which means he's only one place behind Garrett. But Garrett already did his mandatory stop. But it's interesting, only 45 minutes of race, but every time a mandatory pit stop. So you are able to do more than an hour with one, not one tire, because you have to use 4 tires, but you know what I mean. So normally you don't have to change tires or refuel in a 45 minutes race. But this will be the reason why they add a mandatory stop to their rules. And it's also good for the drivers who have some problems on track, because if you do a crash or if you're crashing, you're not totally busted. Like we see it in other leagues when they are doing their sprint races, because normally we have sprint races going half of an hour. Oh, by the way, we have Evandro in for his mandatory pit stop, and also Zone is coming in. But like we see, Zone had some really big problems. And I'm not sure what is... No, Evandro, no crash or something like this. Oh, and meanwhile we have more than a second between Campbell, Palmer and Chamno. But these 3 are more than 4 seconds away from P4, which is Eckholt at this moment. But he's fighting against Fischer, and I'm not sure if Fischer is... Yeah, Fischer is already behind the McLaren. So let's take a look for this fight, because Fischer really close to the driver in front of him. But is he able to attack? No. So, and Evandro fell back on P20, right in front of Wichtrup and right behind Demange. So the 2 Essens on P18 and P19 at the moment. And because there is no text under the sign, I'm pretty sure that these 2 are the Essens. Oh, and now we have Strauss, Kolpa and Hill already in for their stops. And this means P15 and 16 for the 2 Essens. But only for the moment, because also the 2 Essens have to come in for their pit stop. Oh, and now the attack by Fischer, but Eckholt coming in for his pit stop. I don't know if this was a short decision or you know what I mean. I'm not sure if he was planning this pit stop, or maybe it's because of the attack. I'm not sure. Oh, and Chamno fighting against Palmer, who is already 2.7 seconds behind Campbell. And now we have the pit stop by Eckholt, Longfellow, Hobbs, Roberts, Revel, Dodds and Hansen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers are in for their stops. Yeah, but we are near the halfway mark. Yeah, and stays Evandro on top of the drivers who did their stop. Let's see.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, let's take a look for Evandro. Yeah, and he's... Oh! Yeah, he's in front of Eckholt and Longfellow. So Evandro already on P10, I would say. Yeah, like I say. And then we have, I would say, Eckholt, because there was a long gap or a big gap between Evandro and Wichtrup. Also Longfellow stays in front of the McLaren. And also Roberts and Hobbs are in front of Wichtrup, because Wichtrup 0.8 of a second behind Hobbs, who is 600ths behind Roberts. So the three McLaren really close to each other. And now we have the pit stop by Palmer, Chamno, Paco, Horlock. And let's see, or let's take a look for Evandro against Palmer and Chamno, and also Chamno against Palmer, because they were really close to each other. Also, there is standing 1.1 seconds between these two. Yeah, and if he stays in front of Palmer, this would mean P2 for Evandro. And this is looking good at the moment, because he's already on the way to turn 1. But where is Palmer? Oh, I think Palmer stays in front of Evandro. Yeah. Oh, and this is close between... No, was it Paco? Yeah, it's Paco. So Paco right behind Palmer. Oh, and with this? Is it Evandro? Yeah, and Evandro is able to overtake Chamno. So at this moment he jumps up to P3. But let's see what's happening the last 20 minutes. But I would say right behind Campbell and Palmer. Evandro is now on P3. Let's see, Campbell is in for his mandatory stop. Also Fischer comes in. But already 12.5 seconds between these two. And then we have Farrell in for his pit stop. And now let's see what Pulkkinen is doing. He's not coming in, so the only driver who has to do, or the only drivers have to do their stop are Nathan Booth and E. Farrell. No, K. Pulkkinen, sorry. And then we have Palmer fighting for P1 against Campbell. Let's see. There were more than 2 seconds between these two. Yeah, but Campbell done with his pit stop, but now he has to leave the pits. Oh, and maybe it's... Oh, this could be really close between these two, but no, Campbell already on the track now. Oh, and here we have... No, there we have Palmer. And, oh, I think this aren't 2 seconds anymore. No, it's less than 1 second. But already in front of Palmer we have Campbell. At this moment on P2, right behind Pulkkinen, or 42 seconds or 43 seconds behind Pulkkinen. But like I said, Pulkkinen have to come in. And so, oh, we have a new fastest lap by Nathan. Oh, and Chamno in for the second time, and this means goodbye to P2 or 3, or what he's fighting for. Really bad news for the next Ferrari, and I would say this means no Ferrari in the top 10, because Pulkkinen is coming in for his pit stop right now. And here we have Campbell and Palmer. Maybe at the end of the top 10. Let's see where Pulkkinen comes out. Yeah, and Evandro, I think he's now pretty sure on P3. Less than 3 seconds behind Palmer and more than 7 seconds in front of the first BMW, in front of Paco. Then we have Fischer on P6, Eckholt P7, Horlock P8, Longfellow P9, and like I said, now it's pretty clear that Pulkkinen wouldn't stay in the top 10, because we have Roberts and here comes Hobbs and he is on P10 at the end of Camel Straight. And also Wichtrup, Forster, Revel and Zone are able to overtake Pulkkinen. And let's see if Pulkkinen comes out in front of Farrell. But the answer is yeah, it's yes or no. No, here we have Pulkkinen, so he comes out on P16 right in front of the Audi. So dots isn't able to over. Maybe he is able to, because he's really faster than the Ferrari here at the Camel Straight. But no. Okay. So let's take a look for Horlock and Eckholt fighting for P6. And then we have Zone and Forster fighting for P12, the Bentley and the German Porsche. Oh, not fighting for P12, but fighting for P11, because there is Rebel right in front of Forster. And it's really, really funny to see one of the smallest and one of the biggest cars next to each other. So the British tank against the German fly. It's look like if Toby is crashing in the Bentley, he didn't realize it. It's like a fly hitting a truck. But Rebel is able to get away from Forster. And here the Skechers BMW against the McLaren. Yeah, on top we have already 1.5 seconds between Campbell and Palmer. 2.6 seconds between Evandro and Palmer, but Evandro, I think he's happy with P3. And let's take a look for Booth and Garrett. Garrett on P22 and Booth now in for his mandatory stop on P25. And Chamnor fell back on P24. Really hard. Oh, and Demangel already with no pit stop. And now I'm hungry for ice cream. Oh, and here Zone and Forster really close to each other. But Toby already, or immer noch, I don't know, right behind the Bentley. Still, yeah, still right behind. Oh God, oh God, oh God. And Pulkkinen fighting against the Audi. And it's hard to overtake unless you are able to get or come to get a good entrance here at Radion, because the best part to overtake is here the long Campbell Straight, but therefore you have to find a good exit for out of the corner Radion to attack the driver in front of you, and you have to, or you need the power to do it, because like we see, the Porsche is right behind the Bentley all the straight, but he didn't have the high speed to attack the car in front of him. Let's see, let's take a look for Pulkkinen and Dodds. And the Ferrari, maybe he has the power, no. And here the next Ferrari fighting at the Aston this time, so Hansen against Bagnall. Oh, and on the inside, the attack by the... Oh, and... Oh, whoa, this was close. And this is, like I said, this time he has also the power and the good exit, but ooh, this was a nice little drift here. And Fischer at this moment with the fastest lap of the race and still right behind Parcours. Oh, and what happens to Eckholt? Eckholt back on P7, so Horlock was able to overtake him and Fischer is coming closer to Parcours. So now the three BMW on P4, 5 and 6. And then Eckholt and Roberts and Longfellow the BMW number 4. But now we have 5 McLaren in the top 10 and only 4 BMW and 1 AMG. Yeah, but Evandro is coming closer to Palmer, who loses Campbell. 3.3 seconds between P1 and P2 and only 1.9 seconds behind Palmer we have Evandro, and then we have Parcours fighting against Fischer. So at least we have no really differences between these two cars. Only their setup can be a little bit different. So maybe one is a little bit faster in the corners and the other one therefore a little bit faster on the straight. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Oh, and Eckholt more than 1 second behind Horlock, so... Little problem for Parcours here at La Source. And now let's see when they are going through R06 and now Radion. I think there is a little advantage for Parcours here in the corners. Maybe Fischer a little bit more top speed, but not enough to attack the driver here in front of him. And then we have Hobbs, Forster and Sohn really close to each other. So by the way, son is the right word because Sohn means son in English. So maybe it's the son of Toby. Whoa. And what was this? Yeah, some big problem for Toby here in the comp. And now more than a second, maybe more than 2 seconds behind these two. And Fischer still right behind Parcours. And maybe he's able to attack the driver. Oh, he's just flashlighting him. And now we have the attack. Oh, and with a little help of Parcours, Fischer is able to get on P4, but only because Parcours let the door wide open and don't slam it. This was optimistic, but okay, it's finally it was, oh no, and here we have it. Oh, and now we have the second penalty, not only the drive-through penalty for Garrett, but also a stop-and-go penalty for De Mangel, and maybe this means P24 at least for Booth. I think Garrett stays on P22 because Chamno is already one lap behind. Oh, but not really, because now he's in the same lap. And Pulkkinen fighting against Kolpa. And here we have the fight between Forster and Hobbs. By the way, Dots now again. No, not again. Sorry, that this was Zon, who was right behind Forster and Hobbs. By the way, he's more than 3 seconds behind these two at this moment. Oh, and on P14 and 15 we have the fight against between Richtrup and Farrell. No, and Evandro only 1.3 seconds behind Palmer, but only 2 minutes left. So I think all the drivers who are really close to the other have to do their attack now, or
Leaders on final lap.
like we hear in the last lap. So, and only 2 more laps, no, not 2 more laps, but only 1 lap left for Garrett. Oh no, and he, no! Oh, and this is a really bad news for Garrett, because he can't do his drive-through anymore, because he's behind the leader. So here we have Campbell, and here comes Garrett right behind our leader, and this means he's in his last lap, and this also means he isn't able to do his drive-through penalty. De Mangel did his stop-and-go penalty at this moment. No, he did not, he do, because did, I think it's the past. Yeah, but Garrett, I'm not sure if he realized his problem at the moment, or is he just saying it couldn't get worse. So, and here we have the attack of Hobbs against the Bentley on the outside, and no, this is not going well here in Le Coms.
Pit window is now closed.
Oh god, I just thought I forget the entrance of the leader, but now he's in the last sector. So, and Palmer stays on P2 with the Mercedes. Yeah, but what does this mean for the standings? I have no idea. Just wait, I will take a look.
The leader has finished the race.
So, and now gratulation to Campbell for the win. And he was on P... oh my goodness. Oh, he was on P26 and now with the win. And then we have Palmer, Evandro, Fischer on P4, Paco on P5, then Horlock in front of Eckholt P7, followed by Roberts, the next McLaren, and like we see, oh, what is this? Interesting way to celebrate, but he's still on P8, then Revel and Longfellow on P10, Forster on P11, Hobbs 12, then Zone P13. And what was this by Roberts? Oh, and here we have a little bit late braking by Farrell, who was trying to overtake Wichtrup, but stays on P15. And like we see, 80 seconds penalty for Garrett, and I'm not sure. Oh, and it's only 74 seconds between Chamno and Garrett, so. Oh, what was this? What has happened here? Whoa! Crazy bullshit. Okay, it was behind the finish line. I thought it was in front of the finish line. So be careful, everyone. There is standing some cars right behind the finish. So Bagnall on P20, Hansen P21. And then I would say Chamno on P22 and Garrett only P23. Booth 24, De Mangel 20, Booth 25, De Mangel 24. And yeah, like I say, Garrett fell back on P23, so Chamno wins one position because of the penalty. Yeah, and here we have the final result for the last race. Yeah, and Evandro on P3 and more than, no, exactly 20 places in front of Garrett and 22 in front of Booth, and I'm not sure if this is enough for Garrett and Booth to stay on P1 and 2. So really interesting. I would like to do a little interview, but still I'm here only streaming over the PlayStation. It's not so easy for me because maybe I can invite Nathan. Let's see. Maybe he can invite the other drivers if he join us. By the way, everyone who is new here on Assetto Corsa, this aren't the cars, this is the firework for the winner. And I can't remember that I can hear it so clearly and loud. Yeah, but unless there is no Nathan in here, I would say let's call it a day. And yeah, normally I would say something about the next days, but only let's say if you're interested in races, mainly in Assetto Corsa Competizione, so you can search for Vincent Racing Experience on Twitch, and maybe we see us the next days, for example, on Monday when we are, I think at Suzuka with the RLE guys, or in a few weeks we are back on Tuesday at the Apex Online Racing League. So let's say goodbye and good night. I don't know when they are starting here the next season, so unfortunately I can't tell you anything. So maybe we see us again in a few weeks here on YouTube, but maybe on my Twitch channel, I don't know. So let's say goodbye, thank you for watching, and I hope you had a little bit fun. And yeah, see you guys. Good night and good evening, and seid lieb zueinander. Macht es gut. Goodbye.